So, Daniel, what level are we talking about next?
We are talking about Pumpkin Zone Special 1.
Alright. How do you get to this level?
You enter through Pumpkin Zone 2. You go underwater for a brief period, and you have to go through this tight underwater channel as Big Mario. The channel is 2 units tall, and there are fish that fill up one of those units, so you have to duck and wait and move through. And then once you get through, you have to spin jump on the blocks that are concealing the pipe, and once you get through that, you are through to the secret exit. Just to the left where you start off, there is a bit of a runway, and there is a Bunny Mario power-up. And there is there are five sets of coins in the air, and there are para Goombas, or the Goombas with wings, in between each of those sets of coins. And then this area is suspended in midair. I normally don't really like these sorts of challenges because, they're not very tuned. It's just sets of coins that are just laid out there. And I guess the good thing, right, is that the nature of the challenge is very much player-driven or player-dependent, and that is, the coins that you miss on the first time will be the coins that you get the second time. You try to get more coins, and so on and so on.
It's also player-driven because there's no clear way that the game is incentivizing you to collect coins. It's a huge block, and there's no clear indication of where to start picking them up. It's just you have to choose one at random.
Yeah, that's why, I don't really like it, because it's not tuned, it's just there. It's like they just stuck it there. And in a sense, it's kind of like you have to make your own fun out of it. And I don't really enjoy those types of challenges myself.
It's a sandbox, but with coins.
It's a sandboxy or like a freer sort of challenge that does kind of scale, but it doesn't really direct on the player very much. I also don't really like the usage of coins. Usually in Mario games, coins act as their own level of scalability that layers on top of the original challenges. So getting through one level is a challenge. Getting through a level and collecting all the coins as well is a much higher level challenge.
Right.
But in this case, the coins are just there so that you can try to grab them all. It's a bit excessive. The coins are used to create their own challenge as opposed to layer on top of an existing challenge, and so I don't really like the use of coins in this way.
I think that's the charm of it, is that in a normal Mario stage, or even a normal Super Mario Land 2 stage, coins are a higher level of play and you'll get them if you're skilled. Whereas here, they're just sitting out there for free, and that's what makes it a bonus level, that you just get all the coins you could ever want. No questions asked.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't like the idea of giving, you'd say candy, I guess, of giving candy to students who are well behaved. Let's say that a teacher does that, and then come the end of the year, they say, "Okay, everyone, I've got a bag of candy for you each," and then they eat it, and then it doesn't feel like it doesn't taste as good, does it?
Because you didn't have to earn it.
Worked for it. Yeah.
Well,
if we are to follow the belief that rewards can control behavior, blah blah blah, but we don't believe in that theory at all. The other thing too is that Bunny Mario has quite limited hang time, so that forces the player to obviously think strategic about how they can use that precious commodity.
You might even want to time when you hit the Goomba and adjust your flight pattern that way.
That's true. I guess the other thing is that you can't really see the area below, so it's not clear straight away that you won't be able to get back up.
It's also not
So
clear straight away that you won't die.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So I guess there is perhaps in the player's mind quite an incentive to move as far as they can to the right. I mean, I guess you've got those platforms underneath, right? But you just can't see them at all from the landing pad at the start.
Right. It would undermine the coin challenge if you could just go back up infinitely and try to get them all. But then the fact that you can't tell that from the beginning makes it one of those challenges that you have to revisit. Like the Goomba challenge where you might not understand that there's a star at the end just because you haven't seen this level before.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of how other games convey this information. I think of the 3D Mario games. It's quite obvious that I'm about to jump down this section, and there's stuff that I can get. But I think that's because of the perspective.
Right, the camera's always angled
It's
downward.
easier, yeah, it's easier to create that impression, whereas it's probably harder to do that here. I guess the one thing that they could do is that they could make the graphics of this area appear like it's more on the top of a high cliff or something like that. But because they're working within the existing tile set that they've got, that's probably the best that they could do.
Do the Sonic Generations thing and put a bottomless pit sign.
And then there's this open space underneath, and there is an exit that follows that, and beyond a wall there is another challenge, a secret challenge. I mean, I guess you could say there's 3 layers of secret, right? So there's 1, it's a secret level, 2, there's the secret challenge, and 3, you have to avoid the Goombas and get the star at the end, and then you can run through the row of Goombas. So this secret challenge is similar to the Koopa Trooper challenges in Tree Zone Special 1, in that there's a layer of scaffolding which allows the player to survey the area underneath them, and then there is a star at the end. And just like before, it's not apparent that the player needs to avoid the Goombas on their first try, but on later attempts, they can play that challenge at a higher level. And unlike with the Koopa Troopers, you will actually get a 1-up if you star Mario your way through this pile of enemies.
Shouty, did you play through this level that way? And that Daniel was describing having to cross over the hills to avoid the Goombas. Is that how you played through this level?
If you keep holding down the jump button with Bunny Mario, he'll go all the way over to the other side, and you won't even know that the Goombas were there in the first place.
Yes.
In a platformer, I think I find it natural personally to want to stay as high as possible because it's a game about fighting gravity. So I definitely find it natural after you deal with the first 5 blocks of coins just to keep flying as far as you can to the right and then double back once you have the star, because you hit a wall there and the only thing to do is to fall.
Mm-hmm.
I think that bunny ear sets up that layering pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And if the player falls in halfway, or if they fall even at the start, then they've still got a means to get through.
Yeah.
I think another theme could be trying to stay off the ground as much as possible, because you want to avoid the Goombas on the second half of the level. On the first half, you want to stay off the ground to get all the Goombas and as many coins as you can.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, certainly, yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And you described how it was like Tree Zone Special in that you have that row of Goombas to barrel through. I also feel like these levels make a good contrast because in Tree Zone Special, the second challenge, the second row of Koopas, I feel like builds off the first row pretty easily. They're both just a row of Koopas that you can either jump over or send a Koopa shell through. Whereas here, the first half of the level is slower. You're going to spend your time falling as slowly as possible and taking care to collect coins if you want to at least. And then the second challenge with the Starman is about going through enemies as quickly as possible. So Tree Zone Special, I feel like the challenges are more complementary, whereas in Pumpkin Zone Special 1 the challenges are more of a contrast and play well together because of their differences.
Yeah, and you can also see there are, on the surface level, other aspects of contrast. So you've got Paragoombas compared to your regular grounded Goombas. You've got a lot of coins, no coins. You've got quite raised elevation on the left-hand side and then quite lowered elevation on the right-hand side. So, yeah.
Yeah.